Hi everybody. So for this video today, I'm going to do something just slightly different. If you can see right here, there's several different bezels that I have right here. And if you can tell a little bit, it's kind of hard to see with my lighting and everything, I have poured something in them, tried to make a faux opal type of look to them. And then also I have three little bitty calves right down here, really tiny ones that I was doing the same thing. Now with this one I had had a little color in it, as you can tell. It's a little bit purpley. So I wanted to talk about this. Let's see, I'm filming this on a Saturday evening. I will set it to release on Sunday morning, whereas I did all of this, I believe, on a Thursday evening. So it's had plenty of time to dry. And what I decided to do was go through all of my my bezels. I didn't want to use a bezel like this that was just plain round. You know, you can take the right size cabochon and put it in there just like this, which I love this. Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, you know, and I've got some that are like this. This is the type kind of that I used with these that has, you know, just a different look to them. But I wanted to do something different because I don't have any UV resin. I don't own any right now. For me, it's just a little bit too expensive to get, though I hope to get some soon. But one thing I do have is some Mod Podge Dimensional Magic right here. And I also have this diamond glaze, okay? So I believe for this, I had used the Mod Podge on these items and the Dimensional Magic for these items. And for these three, I can't remember which one I used on which, because I know two of them are one, and anyway, we're not going to go into that. That's just going to be whatever. Because I wanted to see how each one of them held up to pouring into the bezels. And then like with these three little cabochons, I poured into, I think one was in this one was in that one, and one was in this one. So that's just a little tiny cabochon mold that I had. And of course, for the faux opal look, I used the ice resin opals, which I absolutely love. But I started off with, I just picked out the ones that I wanted to use. And I picked some that were a little bit smaller, if you can tell, because I don't really have these little tiny, smaller cabochons that I would be able to do anything with. So I thought, well, what could I do with these? I thought, man, if I had some UV resin. I was like, I don't have any UV resin, but I've got the Mod Podge, and that's supposed to act the same. So I took the crystal opal ice resin, and I took my tweezers and I just got a little bit out, and I put a little bit in each of the bezels along with the molds for these. Just drop in a little bit, you know, of course a little bit more for these two because they're slightly larger, but try not to overdo it on any of them. But you can see this is the results. You know, I poured enough of the Mod Podge just to kind of cover it. Now on some of them, and I don't know if it would show up very well on the camera, but the way it ended up doing is, if you can see right there, it's pretty well flat. But when I poured it, it kind of overwent, and I wasn't trying to do that because this actually acts quite thick. Now with some, this one's kind of domed in just a little bit, and I know you can't really see that. Whereas like one with this one, again, this one was used with the diamond glaze. If you can tell, whoops, you can kind of see it a little bit. It's a little bumpy, and of course that is because of the crystal opal. So it did not get a flat surface on this one. Now it's a little bit flat right here. I can feel that, but over here where it's kind of clumped up a bit more, it's not a smooth surface. So if I had UV resin, I would actually end up putting a little bit just on the top and sealing that off. Now here's one that really did not go very well, if you can tell. The diamond glaze, it got too much on it, and it went on to the cardboard, and you see what happened. It just absolutely ruined this piece. I was kind of distraught a little bit. Not just for the bezel, not just for the diamond glaze and the opal, but also that it kind of messed up my cardboard that I had sitting under it. But luckily it was sitting on the cardboard and not directly on my desk, thank goodness. So you see this one is ruined. Feeling of it, it is a bit bumpy. It's not level right here on it, whereas it's up at a nice level over on this side. And of course with these three, as you can see, I tried a little bit of color. I literally just put one tiny drop of alcohol ink on all of them. And if you can see on this one right here, a bubble emerged, and I did not catch it. I did not see it. But you look over here to the edge of the bezel, and the color just got on the bezel. I don't like that. But otherwise, I think it doesn't need to have such a strong color to it. Otherwise, and you can see I still have a little bit of that right there on my finger. If the color was thinned out, that would be beautiful. That would be gorgeous. And luckily that one didn't go all the way around. I don't know how that happened, but it didn't. Now with these two, that's not the case. This one, I believe, was green. It's really hard to see because you can tell right here where it's thicker, it looks blue, and then over here it looks green. And where the crystal opal pieces are, it looks blue as well. And I don't know why that happened. And aside from right here, and then there's a spot right there that it's kind of looks thicker in a ways, this would have been gorgeous. And this into the same, it did good on the back, but it would have been gorgeous had that right there not happened. So there's another one, you know, 1, 2, 3 so far that are completely ruined. And here's one that was, no, I think that one was supposed to be blue, and this one was a purple. So I'm going to get it up real close for you. This one did just about the same thing. So the color needed to be thinned out tremendously on this one. Again, I don't know why it has that effect on there like that, like it does. I just know that it does. But this one, you can kind of see a little bit. It kind of went to the back. Now, with this bezel, it's supposed to have been a two-sided bezel. So I could try my hand again at it, but I don't want to. I've already ruined it. So there's 4 pieces completely ruined that I can't use. I can't do anything. So those were the diamond glaze. Okay, now here's the Mod Podge. This one I didn't quite get enough in because, again, you know, when I poured it, it over poured a little bit, and I guess as it dried, it just kind of sunk in, so to speak. Otherwise, I think this one could have used a little bit of coloring to it because you can still see that metal background. Otherwise, it looks really good. I really like it. I really like this bezel. It's a really pretty bezel. When I picked these out, I decided that they were going to be earrings if they turned out properly. And again, you know, this one has a nice smooth surface. It's a little bumpy on the edges, but it's okay. But it is a little underdomed, and that's all right. Now, this one is quite a bit more bumpy, especially like right here, where I guess it just had a little extra something right there. Otherwise, I love these two. I'm going to attempt to pour just the tiniest bit of Mod Podge on them later and hope that that will have a nice, flat, smooth surface, or a slightly domed surface. Luckily, nothing came on the back, so they're not totally ruined. So I really like those. I'm happy with those. The little butterfly with a little itty bitty tiny cap piece. Just, isn't it pretty? And it's so cute. Ooh. So this could be used, you know, as a charm on a bracelet, or just as a little piece for a little necklace or something. I could have added a bit more of the crystal opal, especially on this side, maybe a little bit here, but it kind of gathered up right there, and I don't know why it did that. I do remember that when I poured either one, if I poured it straight in the middle and I tried to carefully and gently move out towards the edge of the bezel, it like picked up the pieces and like pulled it out and moved it. And it's like, I don't want that. I want you to stay. So there wasn't a lot I could do about that. I probably could have taken just a little bit of the opal and you know, dropped it on top, but I didn't really want to because I didn't want this. I don't know if you can see that right there. I didn't really want that happening, so I'm going to end up having to cut that off. And I think that's about the only bad part about this one. Otherwise, it turned out really nice. Just needs a bit, you know, fix this right here. Needed a bit more opal right there. Otherwise, that one would have turned out great. I've got this one. This one makes me think a little bit more of a filigree piece just because of how that is. I love that. But this one, again, you know, it's not flat. That one definitely domed very well, you can see. But you can see also that it is lumpy. So I don't like the effect of that. However, the look of it is gorgeous. You know, it's a shame that I couldn't, and I may try it in the future, try to figure out how to make it a faux opal druzy. That would be a gorgeous thing, because I figured with this would be a nice connector piece for a bracelet or something. Just that would be absolutely gorgeous. So I want to do something to work on that and fix that. And then the final one is the little snowflake. Looks awesome on the back. And on the front, we'll do the little profile right here. Again, it domed up, but you see it's lumpy. So again, you know, when I poured it, it kind of pulled the faux opal from here and pulled it over here, and it made it lumpy, so I've got to fix that. And I could see, if you can see right here, the edge of the bezel, it kind of just lumped up over it, and I don't really like that. Now this side it did fine, but again, it's flattened out right there, so that side's all right, but this side looks not so great. So hopefully one day I will be able to get my hands on some UV resin. And I want to show you these real quick before I end, because I almost forgot about them. So this one's a little teardrop one. In a previous resin cast, I had taken some, honestly, I just took some of my old eyeshadow color and just took my brush, brushed it in there, and somehow I forgot this little mold. I forgot to mold it with the resin. So when I was doing this, I thought, well, I'll pour a little bit of the Mod Podge in there. I think that's one I used on this one. And you can see the front turned out fantastic. The color is not too dark. You can still see that opal in there. I'm just not happy with the back. I don't know if you can tell. It's quite hard to see this. It domed under considerably. Well, when I poured the Mod Podge in again, it did dome over the top, but I guess it just kind of settled down. But this one can still be used. I don't think that it's ruined too bad. I'll have to fix this, as you can see right there, a little bit, but otherwise I think it did really good. I'm really happy with the results on that one. Now with these two, I'm having the same issue on. If you can see on this one right here, and then on this one right here, somehow a bubble got under the both of these. After putting, I don't know if it was a diamond glaze on both of these or just one of these, but after putting this in either one of these, I did use my candle lighter, and I went over top of every single one of these. I waited probably about an hour, and then I went back with the candle lighter and did it one more time to give, you know, the bubbles time to come to the top. And I guess these were just two separate bubbles that just wasn't going to make it. And it kind of makes me sad a little bit, because other than that, other than those bubbles, and you can actually, I don't know if you can see, but this one actually ended up having quite a bit of bubble in there, and I'm not happy with that. I'm seeing some bubbles on this one, but otherwise, shape, and all that, aside from those big bubbles, these turned out really nice. The backs seem to be very good. This one's a little bumpy, but not too bad. Otherwise, these turned out very well. So, come to the conclusion of this, with this experiment, is that I probably won't be using either one of these to fill any bezels, with the exception of if I decide that I want to take a picture, cut a picture out, place it in there, and just use like Mod Podge over top to fill. I may do that, but for something like this, to make a faux gemstone, it's probably not a wise choice, especially with the diamond glaze. Especially, I do want to point out as well, and I'm not trying to, put down either one of these companies, because who am I to say that? But I know that, like with this double-sided dragon's eye, it's supposed to be a keychain. I know that I did use the Mod Podge, and if you can see over the top of the cabochon, which these are glass, it just kind of ran over, it made a mess, and if you look really closely, like right here, you can see the outline of my wire, and then you look on this side and it's even worse. So I likely won't be using either one of these to place cabochons on with, to do anything such as this. And then, where'd it go? This is another eye that I had used the Mod Podge on, and I don't know if you can see it or not. If you look really closely right here, it just kind of, there you go, right there, you see that? It kind of pulled the polish, the paint, away from the cabochon. Now right there, it gives a really neat effect because you can see the lines of the bezel, but I don't like that it pulled the paint off, basically off of the cabochon. You know, it's just, I don't like that look. That's not the look I was going for with this eye, or with any of the eyes. Now this Galaxy had almost the same effect. You can kind of see right there, but I think for this, for a Galaxy, it kind of doesn't hurt it quite as much, but it's still, you can see, it just, it doesn't look very professional. I'm not a big fan of it. Kind of has a funny shape in there if you see that. Anyway, so it wasn't really meant to be, putting either one of these companies down. It was more of, hey, here's my experiment, and here's the results that I ended up having. So hopefully, you learn from my mistakes. Do your own trial and error, and try the things that you want to try, because it's not going to hurt to try it at least once. The worst thing is you'll get a couple of pieces that unfortunately maybe you can't use, or maybe you can use, but it just doesn't look quite right or something. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos, and share for other people to get to watch. In a future video, I am going to be doing a giveaway for my 100 subscriber list, I guess you could say. It's not the 100th subscriber, but out of all the 100 people that have subscribed, and you will have to comment, I will be doing a little giveaway for you guys. So I'll get into more details on that later. Again, thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and you know what? We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.